Hideo Kojima, from Police Knots to Zone of the Enders to now Death Stranding and the second one coming soon. This man, one of the most universally loved people in all of video games, known for innovative gameplay, wacky and enthralling stories, and just overall playfulness with gaming tropes and culture. But where did he get his start? So currently we are sitting outside the building Kojima Productions works out of. And so Kojima was born August 24th, 1963 in Setagawa, Tokyo. But at an early age, he moves down to Osaka, and there is where his interest in entertainment media begins, as his family has a tradition where they would sit down at the TV and watch a film every single night. And his parents were very big fans of European cinema in general, and would not limit the types of films that he would see. So he would see everything possible, exposing him to a wide variety of genres and stories and art in general. And because of that, he actually decided to originally become a filmmaker, not a game designer. In fact, they didn't even have a word for it at the time. So he goes on, he gets a little camera, he shoots some films and such. But in college, whenever he's studying for economics, he first comes into contact with the Famicom, or what is known as the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. And that is what kind of spurs him into saying, well, maybe I could become a game designer. And although not very many people were initially supportive of this idea, he goes on to find the only company listed on the stock exchange at the time, the Konami Corporation. And his first game he works as an assistant director on is called Penguin Adventure on the MSX. Although initially he wasn't very excited about the project and felt he could always do more, people would later recall the game very fondly and said it would have much greater gameplay, it had more levels, it had better everything from its predecessor, and it was looked upon generally very well. Eventually, though, he gets handed a project. The project's name? Metal Gear. And once he gets this project, he actually takes the time to completely revamp the game due to the limitations of the console and turns it from a combat-focused game to one that was inspired by the film The Great Escape into an escape game with a lot of stealth. And this would start down the path of the genre he would create known as tactical espionage action, which is all of the Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solid games that he would create. And Metal Gear is actually a resounding success for Konami. And it's kind of funny that Konami tries to go ahead and make a Metal Gear game without Kojima that isn't such a success, and Kojima fires back with his own Metal Gear Solid Snake, the second game in the series. So in Kojima's book, The Creative Gene, some of the things that, interestingly enough, changed his worldview and a little bit of his design theory when he was writing stories and whatnot was a visit to Hiroshima and the 3/11 earthquakes that happened in 2011. Both of those things helped reshape his ideologies by showing him the incredible power of people to come together and triumph over horrific tragedies. And of course, after this, he goes on to make more games, not just in the Metal Gear series, but also games like Snatcher, which is an adventure game, Police Knots, and various other titles like Zone of the Enders, and along the way making more Metal Gear entries as time goes on. After the multiple releases of Metal Gear 2, and Metal Gear 3, he wants to collaborate with more people, and he does with people like Goichi Suda and Masahiro Sakurai, even making the infamous playable teaser for Silent Hill. And as most of us know, in around 2015, during the development of the 5th mainland installment of the Metal Gear series, Kojima and Konami have a massive fallout that leads to them splitting and separating. But of course that is not the end for Kojima, because as he stated in his 2008 Lifetime Achievement Award, I will continue to make games for as long as I live. And yes, he does continue making games, founding his own studio, Kojima Productions, which is the building right next to me at the moment, where he produced Death Stranding, and now they're closing in on their second title as an independent company, Death Stranding 2, on the beach. And not only Death Stranding, but he's also collaborating with Jordan Peele on another title called OD, which I don't know if anybody has an idea except for him what that is yet. What is your favorite Hideo Kojima game? Mine's Metal Gear Solid 3. I love that game. It's phenomenal. What do you think of Hideo Kojima? And as always, thanks for watching.